Hi everyone, this is Father Bline.
I'm Father Bearer.
And we are glad you're with us because we're going to do a short video right now. So we have some good news. We're coming up here in just a week, next week, May 25th, on Memorial Day at 9:30 a.m. We will have a Mass, finally with the doors open, and we're going to welcome you home, the beginning of the welcome of home.
You'll notice some things will be different. We're going to strongly recommend that if you're coming to church on Memorial Day or Pentecost Sunday for Mass, that you please wear a mask. So we're encouraging everyone who comes, please consider wearing a mask. We're not wearing them because we want you to be able to hear us as we're talking. Also, if you're coming, please make sure that it's wise for you to be here. You know, if you are in one of the categories of people vulnerable to COVID-19, it might be best to stay home. We're still going to be recording Masses through live stream and putting those up online. If you have a temperature of 100.4 or more, definitely stay home, you and your household. When it comes to communion, you'll see lines on the floor where there will be stations, and we will be staggered 6 feet apart for the physical distancing to take place. You'll notice those lines when you come to Mass. When you enter into the church, you'll also be able to see where you'll sit with proper physical distance from one another. Households and families are allowed to sit together. You're already living with one another, so physical distancing isn't taking place anyway. So you don't have to physically distance yourself from your family members when you come to church. But if you are an individual or there's two of you, we'd ask that you be 6 feet apart from one another while in the church. And there will be ushers and people here to help through all of this as we move through these changes.
Yeah, also when you first come here, just know that nobody's going to block you from coming in, but we do recommend what the state of Ohio, our governor says, as well as our bishops of Ohio. So we're doing things based on safety, but also we're excited to be back, because the first weekend back will be Pentecost Sunday, the 31st of May. If you recall, originally that was going to be the time I was leaving, but I will be extended for just the 2 weekend Masses as well. So when you come in, the doors will be propped open regardless of the weather, because we want to have you just be able to make a straight line in. Listen to the greeters, and again, as Father said, you will see the seats that are open. You don't have to worry about details or figure out what's what. Just make sure it's good and safe for you to be here, and highly recommended for the mask. We will have a difference in some of the appearances. You might see, as you do now, there's a camera down the aisle. There may be a camera that will be around. Don't panic if there is. And we're not being disrespectful. We want to make sure people, the majority of people who won't be here, will still be able to pray by watching the Mass at home. You'll notice as well that the only entrance and exit will be the main doors that we're standing at now by the font. You can only go into these front doors only. The two side doors will be locked. So if you normally come in that way and go out that way, you won't be able to do it for these first few weekends till we see how things go, all right? The other thing to be aware of is music. We will have music, but we won't be singing for the first weekend, and we'll see how things continue to develop and how we become aware of what we can do to move forward. But we'll help you through that, so don't worry.
The Masses for Pentecost Sunday will be the 9 and 11. There's no earlier Mass, there's no later Mass, there's no Saturday Vigil Mass. For Pentecost, we're celebrating on Sunday at the 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. and we'll be cleaning the pews and the doorknobs and everything before and after each of those Masses. So please be aware of that. We'll also have the option of 2 locations. We'll see how many people show up, but we'll have 2 locations available on Pentecost Sunday. One being in the church and the other returning to the early history of St. Francis de Sales, having church in the gym.
Yep, that'll be good, and we'll do that definitely at 9 and 11 as well, because we have plenty of parking spots, but we will not have plenty of parking spots for you here. This will be just for a certain number. We have to keep it under our normal occupancy, under 50%, and we'll help you out with that too, and get a chance for us to pray together, and finally for you to receive the Blessed Sacrament, to receive Holy Communion, and go nourish the world too as well, even if it's just within your own home. So my friends, there are more details that will follow, but we wanted to give you this little welcome and a little insight of what's coming. Again, none of this is easy for us. You know how hard it is to find any restrictions placed upon us. And we're trying to do not anything that's against who we are as Catholics or within our nation. We just want to say we have the responsibility, and I do, for the last 2 weeks of being pastor, to try to be safe and smart. This isn't easy for us. Come with joy. Come wearing red on Pentecost weekend. If you're here during the weekdays, join us at 8:15 a.m. and 6:30 p.m., except for Monday and Memorial Day at 9:30 a.m. Please let me see somebody else besides us seeing each other. It'd be really good to have you. Peace.
God bless you.